Hunting with an awesome retriever is one of the very best parts of duck hunting to me. Not only do they save us a bunch of steps in picking up our birds, but they're also so much fun. And to get an awesome retriever, there's a lot that goes into it. And the first step is choosing the right one. And that's what we're talking about today. I'm Joel Strickland, and this is Surviving Duck Season. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Now last week I put out a video about my entire last duck season. It was a really long video, but I probably got some of the best feedback that I've gotten on a video in a long time, so thank you for that. Apparently, a lot of y'all really like the video. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you watch it, but after you finish watching this one. Now part of the video, I focused on the incredible transformation of my borrowed dog, Zoe. Now I'm not going to rehash all of that, but just for context, I'm going to catch you up just a little bit in case you missed that video. Now, back last summer, I lost my 6-year-old lab, Indy. She had kidney failure. And so my friend Jason, who is a dog trainer, loaned me his dog named Zoe. Now Zoe was fully trained to about a master hunter level, but prior to me getting her, she hadn't seen very much hunting action. So I started hunting with her at Thanksgiving. She was about 4.5 years old. She was a little rough at first, but through the course of about 30 days, she became this completely different dog. Got that crippled. Good job, Zoe. All right, good job. And by the end of duck season, she was an absolute rock star. Very, very impressive. After the season was over, I took her back to Jason Craig at Dark Timber Kennels in Texas. So, last week I posted the video and I got a bunch of questions in DMs about Zoe. Many asking me or telling me to keep Zoe. You should buy Zoe, you should keep Zoe, you should talk to Jason, he should let you have the dog. You know, that sort of thing. Zoe is Jason's dog and it's in Jason's breeding program. He loves Zoe a lot, as we all do. She was bred just a couple of weeks ago to a really great stud dog, so they're looking for a litter to be on the ground in less than a couple of months. Another question that many of you asked was, well, are you going to get another dog? Well, my wife and I have discussed it. We were just crushed when we lost Indy, and it was especially devastating for my wife. She loved Indy so much. It was her very first dog. It took us nearly 5 months to even really have a discussion about getting another dog. And now we're getting close to the 1-year mark, and I still don't have a new dog, but I've been looking. Now, over the last several months, I've reached out to many of my contacts in the dog world, looking at a lot of breedings. I even missed a few that I would have loved to have gotten a puppy from. But Jason and I have talked a lot about a new dog for me as well. Now, Jason's program is unique in that he doesn't train puppies or dogs that you bring to him. He only raises dogs that come out of his breeding program, and then he trains them and sells them at whatever level that they've completed, with his top-end finished dogs being between a senior and master level at 14 months old. Yeah, pretty awesome. Now, one of the biggest differences is that he starts his training at 7 or 8 weeks, whereas most trainers don't start training your puppy until they're at least 6 months old. So you lose a lot of time in there. I've been thinking for the last few years that I wanted to get my next dog out of Jason. I've been very impressed with some of the dogs that I've seen come out of his kennel. So let's talk about the dog that I want. A yellow female with a great pedigree, a little on the smaller size, high endurance and high drive. A rock star in the field, but chill inside the house. Is that a tall order? Well, if I'm getting a dog from Jason, it may be. There's a super high demand for yellow dogs everywhere. And Jason is totally booked out on what he has on the ground. And there's virtually a 0% chance that any of Zoe's pups from this next litter will be a yellow. I'm partial to yellows. Being a photo video guy, I think they just make much better pictures. And I like their looks. What can I say? I want what I want. Jason suggests that I should be patient and not just go after the first available dog or settle for something that I don't want, which I agree with. Getting a dog is usually a 10, sometimes 15-year commitment. You should get what you want. Well, I'm in a good position because Jason is willing to let me have Zoe back for next duck season, which is great for me and great for her. So I'm looking for the right yellow pup. I get lots of questions about dogs, puppies, training, so I thought this would be a fantastic opportunity to use my real-life experience in getting a new pup, training her up, and use that to help many of you who may be in the same position trying to figure it all out. Now, if you ask guys about what kind of dog they're looking for, they usually say, I just want a really good dog. Me too. But really good is very subjective. Everybody thinks that their dog is really good, but my standard for what a good duck dog is may be far beyond what many people are totally satisfied with. A good duck dog for me is based on what I need a dog to do, and that should be your standard as well. What do you need your duck dog to do? So how do you find the right pup? Well, in my opinion, you should be asking, what do you want your dog to end up like after training is complete? You know, the dog that you'll be hunting with. That's where I always start. And listen, that's not the same dog for everyone. The things you need to consider when deciding the type of dog for you is, how often do you hunt, how many retrieves potentially per hunt, and what types of areas do you hunt? So we're going to break down those questions. How often do you hunt? 6, 7 days a week, weekends only, 3 days a week, 10 days for the whole season? That's important to know. A guy like me that hunts 80 plus days a year and shoots 30, 40, 50 birds a day has very much a different need than a guy who only hunts weekends and shoots 6 or 8 birds in a hunt. I'm looking for a dog that has crazy amounts of drive and stamina, one that will really work with me, and that's a very unique dog. It's much more of a dog than most hunters are capable of driving, if you know what I mean. Now, someone who doesn't hunt very often but has a high drive dog may find themselves with a very frustrated dog that has too much energy and no way to use it. That's when you potentially get bad behavior. Now, if you get a dog that has lower drive, but you shoot big numbers of birds on a lot of your hunts, then you may find your dog quitting on you when they get to bird number 23. That's no good. Knowing what type of hunting terrain that you're going to be hunting with your dog will help you understand the type of physical build that your dog should be. Hunting spots where your dog runs a lot versus swimming makes a difference. And if you're hunting in an area where there's a lot of current, like in a deep river, that takes a certain type of dog as well. Another thing you need to decide is what breed of dog you'd be interested in. I'm a lab guy, Labrador Retriever, but there are other breeds that will certainly make a suitable duck hunting dog. Chesapeake Bay Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, Boykins, just to name a few. Now, while we're asking questions, here's another big one to answer. Do you want to get a puppy that you're going to train yourself? Buy a trained dog, or buy a puppy and then send them to a trainer when they're old enough? All right, let me ask y'all a question. Do you think it's cheating not to train your own dog? I had a guy tell me one time that he thought there was absolutely no satisfaction in having a professionally trained dog. What do you think about that? Let me know down in the comments. So now that we've answered all the questions about how you would want to use your dog, what you want your dog to look like after you're done with training and all that, let's figure out, how do we take that and find the right dog? Well, I'm a big advocate of buying very well-bred, purebred dogs. And if you're planning to use a pro trainer in the process, I suggest you enlist the help of that trainer that you plan to use. And if you want to train the dog yourself, there's lots of reputable breeders who breed dogs specifically for waterfowl hunting, and that's what you're looking for. Talk to them, talk about the kind of dog that you need, and ask for their advice in choosing the right litter. And be patient. Don't just talk to one breeder, talk to several, and really spend the time and be patient in getting the right dog. Now, over the next many months, I'll be continuing my quest to get the right dog. And I'll be posting videos from time to time on the progress of my search, and then the training process and all that goes along with it. There's lots of other questions that I've gotten from many of y'all that relates to dogs and training, and I plan to cover a lot of them on these videos coming up. And here's a few that you can look forward to on future videos. British versus American Labs. The pedigree of a dog. Is breeding all that important? Understanding how to read that pedigree and what's all that stuff mean? Once you find a litter of pups, how do you choose a puppy? What's the best book or method for training your own dog? And how to find the best pro trainer for your dog. Hey, if your question isn't in that list, drop it down in the comments. And if you missed last week's video, make sure you check it out right now. I'm Joel Strickland. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.